Karen's arrogance reached a terrifying new level when she actually demolished my residence simply because I refused to join her HOA association. I arrived one morning to find walls broken, windows shattered, and the remnants of a home that she believed she had the right to destroy. Her entitlement was astounding. She thought she could exert power over me through sheer destruction. But what she didn't know was that I was a feared legal expert, trained not only in law but in anticipating exactly this type of reckless aggression. Instead of panic or rage, I calmly assessed the damage, noting every detail: structural compromises, property boundaries, and evidence of her illegal actions. Each broken window, every demolished wall, became documentation of her recklessness and entitlement. Karen had assumed that destruction could intimidate me, but she had underestimated the meticulous preparation, legal expertise, and strategic thinking I brought to the table. I immediately contacted the authorities, presenting the evidence in a way that left no doubt about her liability. Photographs, timestamps, witness statements, and prior records of harassment created a case so airtight that even the HOA board had no choice but to confront her behavior. Karen, expecting to assert dominance, instead became the subject of investigation, her position exposed as reckless, unlawful, and entirely self-serving. But the legal response was just the beginning. I used her demolition as an opportunity to fortify my defenses and reclaim control. Temporary structures, reinforced entry points, and additional surveillance were implemented to ensure that any future attempt at overreach would fail instantly. Every subsequent interaction with Karen became a strategic exercise, with her previous mistakes serving as a guide for preemptive action. Karen, oblivious to the scale of her error, attempted to justify her destruction through the HOA, claiming that I was non-compliant with association rules. Her arguments were dismissed immediately by legal authorities, who recognized the illegality of demolishing private property without due process. Her arrogance, it seemed, had blinded her to the fundamental principles of law, and her attempts to manipulate the system were unraveling at every turn. Neighbors began to notice the pattern. Karen, once perceived as a dominant HOA figure, was now seen as reckless, untrustworthy, and dangerously entitled. Her credibility had plummeted, and her attempts at intimidation were increasingly transparent. Each step she took to enforce her imagined authority only served to highlight her incompetence and overreach. By the end of the ordeal, it was clear who truly held power. Karen's demolition of my residence had backfired spectacularly, leaving her exposed to legal consequences, community scrutiny, and the undeniable reality that she had underestimated the wrong person. The saga continued, but one thing was certain. Karen had learned that attacking a feared legal expert, someone prepared, knowledgeable, and strategic, is not only futile, it is catastrophic. Her arrogance had led to destruction, but it also set the stage for her ultimate downfall, reinforcing the principle that entitlement without preparation, law, or foresight is destined to fail. Karen's reign of terror had collided with reality, and reality had won, decisively and publicly.